Hi, welcome back. I'm speaking with Mary Brune, head of Moms Making Our Milk Safe here on Green 960. So, Mary, are there some chemicals that are a greater hazard for women of childbearing age than others?
Well, one of the things that I think the greatest hazard is definitely any chemical that is avoidable, that we can sort of get out of our environment. As you mentioned, all the chemicals that are in use today, and so few of them for which we have any kind of health and safety data. But one of the things that I think endocrine disrupting chemicals, chemicals that interfere with our body's endocrine system and therefore can interfere with reproduction and development, are definitely things that can impact our fertility and impact the baby's development in utero, and so should be avoided. I would say one of the things that I would recommend doing is kind of tell people the first thing to do when you sort of learn about these issues is to take a deep breath, especially if folks are pregnant, because it can be overwhelming, and there can be a certain amount of anxiety and or guilt associated with this. You wonder, oh my God, what did I do? I drank out of that plastic water bottle. I refinished a piece of furniture, or whatever it is that you've done, to sort of wipe the slate clean, cleansing breath, and to sort of move on from there. And one of the things I recommend people do is do kind of an exposure audit. And I think that actually the quiz in your book, Supernatural Home, is a fantastic tool for this, because I love the way that you walk people through their homes, room by room.
Oh, great. And yeah, I wanted to say that people can download a free copy of that quiz if they go to supernaturalmom.com/free gift, and you can get that.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's a great resource to just look around. I think, just like writing down what you eat in a food diary is a great way to give you a clear picture of your daily diet. I think writing down, the potential chemical exposure you're getting every day, doing what you're doing throughout your daily life, is a great way to, sort of make sure that you get the clear picture. And then to sort of go through, what are the unavoidable exposures, whether they involve something that you have to do for your job, or there is no safer alternative for. But I think that I think Sandra Steingraber said it one time in an article I read, that finding a non-toxic alternative for each and every toxic chemical in mother's milk should be a national priority. And I think that if we're not almost there, we're on the path. So I think that there has to be a safer alternative for many of the things we use in our daily lives. And so I just would encourage people to, cut themselves some slack for any past exposures, and to sort of arm themselves with the tools to make the best choices going forward.
That's a really good idea. And Sandra Steingraber was also on my show. She's the author of Living Downstream, and or is it Living Upstream? I think it's Living Downstream, yes. So that you can check my archives for that interview. So I want to talk a little bit about food dyes, because, I think most people are not aware that they're banned in Europe because they cause behavioral problems in kids. And here in America, they're sold, and, moms will buy that squeezy yogurt in a tube, blue. And it's so easy to make a switch to just not buy a food with food coloring in it. I know children are drawn to that, but it can affect their behavior.
Absolutely. I think that, the sort of quintessential image of, 5-year-olds at a birthday party after consuming, lots of candy and, colorful cake frosting, is that it's the sugar at play, and that's causing sort of, overactive behavior. And, what is being seen now with regard to food dyes, that's probably, it's very likely it's the dye in those foods themselves, on top of the sugar, most likely, but that the food dyes are really contributing to ADHD and behavioral problems. And not to mention, many kids exhibit hypersensitivity and allergic reactions to the food dyes as well. I know I personally have had, negative reactions to even dyed capsules that have food dye in them.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes. And so you have a great website called safemilk.org. And so how can listeners get involved?
Well, one of the things that I think it's great that, if folks are listening to this program, the fact that they're already on board and concerned about these issues is a fantastic way to start. Now that we're sort of preaching to the choir, one great thing is to try to bring more folks into the fold. So maybe they, share recipes with friends about non-toxic chemicals or steer people towards safer products. If they're concerned about anything they have in their homes, like kids' toys or jewelry or handbags, and they're concerned about lead or cadmium or any other chemicals that might be on that, they can bring them to this Center for Environmental Health office. They're open testing hours between 12 and 6 during the week. Mm-hmm. So if folks are in the Bay Area, they can do that.
And where's their office? You want to give the location?
Sure. Yeah, the office is located at 2201 Broadway in Oakland, California, and the web address is www.ceh.org. They can go there for more information. And in fact,
right, they're having an event called Celebrating the First Almost Lead-Free Holiday Season in San Francisco, coming up on a Monday, December 6th. So the people want to go. It's going to be at the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts at 701 Mission Street at 3rd in San Francisco. And Annie Leonard's going to be there screening her new film, The Story of Electronics.
That's going to be a great event. I mean, not only do they get to see Annie Leonard and watch this great new short film, but they'll learn more information about the state of lead and children's products, lunchboxes, jewelries, and handbags. So they can also visit ceh.org for more information on that as well.
Right, and I went onto the site, and in order to find it and to buy tickets, you need to go click on Get Involved and then click on Events, and that's the best way to buy a ticket. And I'll be there, so I hope you stop by and say hello.
Absolutely.
And so, last couple of minutes, tell us about some of the success stories you've had that you've been working with the Moms Project at CEH.
Well, we recently became a project of CEH in August, and as you mentioned with food dyes, one of the things that we've been collaborating on most recently has been we have a petition right now to General Mills to try to get General Mills to phase out the use of food dyes in its products. Mm-hmm. So
fabulous.
If folks are interested in signing that petition and adding their voices to that cause, they can visit our website at www.safemilk.org and sign the petition there.
Mary, let me just ask you about the petition thing, because how serious does a company like General Mills take a petition? Do they really pay attention and go, oh, we've got X many signatures, we better pay attention?
Well, I think the fact that cereal, for example, the cereal alone is sold in 99% or in 99% of households. So they're one of the biggest makers of cereals and snack products. And I think that when you talk about their main consumer base, parents, kids, and if those folks are raising concerns about the safety of their products, they represent consumer dollars, and they represent, the fact that they can make a different choice when they're spending those consumer dollars and buy a product that's safer for their families. So I do think, we're gathering signatures to this letter that we're sending, and then we'll apply other tactics as well. So we'll sort of start with the letter, and maybe it's protests at grocery stores or something like that, with a bunch of strollers,
there you go, those strollers, right? Get those strollers out and
exactly.
Get the news media there.
We'll layer things on, and then we'll see where it goes.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. And so, again, if people want more information, they should go to safemilk.org. And they can. You have a great website with great tips, and then they could also go to ceh.org, which is the Center for Environmental Health. Any last words?
I would just say, the biggest thing that we can do is to be involved and raise our voices. So if we really can create change. Envision the healthy world we want for ourselves and our families, and speak up and make it happen. And I
Fabulous.
think that you provide great resources and tools for folks to do that. And I would just hope that people take advantage of those and get active.
Thank you so much, Mary. It was great to talk to you today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Beth.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much for listening today. For podcasts and more information on this show, visit yoursupernaturallife.com. You can also download the show on iTunes and even listen to it on YouTube. If you'd like more information about transforming your home into a safe haven, read my book, Supernatural Home, endorsed by Deepak Chopra, John Gray, Dr. Joseph Mercola, and many others. You can find it on Amazon or on my website, supernaturalmom.com. Now stay tuned for Smart Green Travel with Jerry Hart. We'll see you here next week. Remember, have a supernatural life. I'm Beth.